Hello zusammen and welcome back to the channel for another court decision out of the German court system. This case is important. Sadly, it's important for the wrong reasons, but it's very important and we need to talk about it. So let's do that. As I mentioned in the last video, in Germany, they do not publish cases publicly. You cannot just go online, type in somebody's name and find it. And that's because of the Datenschutzgesetz, the law that protects people's personal privacy. So the reason I have the decision in this case is because I'm directly involved with the case. I'm working with the attorney who handled the case. I know the man, and I did give him advice. Let me tell you what advice I gave him. My advice was, do not come to Germany. Do not try to have a human rights case here. Please don't go into the asylum process because I think your case can only hurt the cause, not help it. Now, let me explain why. This man was arrested for engaging in sex acts with a 14-year-old. In and of itself, not the end of the world. And as I mentioned in the last video, that's not even classified as a serious crime here. However, while he was on probation, and it was a short-term situation, while he was on probation, he was told he could not do certain things. Two of the things he was told he could not do was to possess sex toys, which I think is a bit ridiculous, but whatever, and he could not keep his phone, tablet, or computer secret. If the police wanted to see it, he had to open it up for them. Well, lo and behold, there was a house search done. I think it was a random house search. And they discovered sex toys, so that's a probation violation. And when they asked him to unlock his phone and his computer, he refused to do it. Well, there's your second parole violation or probation violation. So the police forwarded this information to the probation office, perhaps the prosecution office. And while he was waiting to find out whether his parole was going to be, I keep saying parole, but I mean probation. When he was waiting to find out whether his probation would be violated, he jumped on a plane and flew to Europe and then sought asylum. Anybody can see through what he's trying to do. He is literally trying to use the asylum process in Europe to avoid the trouble that he's causing for himself in the United States. Now, this works against him on several fronts. First of all, the courts here were offended that he tried to hide from his criminal conduct here and avoid prosecution. The second thing that hurts him is he didn't even know if he had a probation violation. So he jumped the gun without even knowing whether there was going to be consequences to his actions. Perhaps he was only going to get a probation violation and a slap on the wrist. Maybe they weren't going to violate his probation at all. Maybe they would have determined it wasn't that important. We'll never know. Because he fled. And of course, because he fled, well, you can bet they filed charges on him. Now, in his situation, another fact that works against him is that he's facing minimal time for his violation. And the court in Karlsruhe, the Verfassungsgericht, determined that if he goes back to the United States, he will be arrested. That's a given. But he faces a maximum of 8 years. If they violate his probation on all counts and reinstate the sentences and give him the maximum, he's facing 8 years. Well, he's already got 2 years time served. So the maximum sentence he's facing is 6 years. So he fled to Europe and screamed that his human rights were being violated. For what? For facing 6 years? The court didn't take it seriously. Quite frankly, I didn't take it seriously when I spoke to him. I don't remember when it was, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. That does not rise to the level of a human rights violation. Now, I've also said in the last video that there are 4 types of crimes that we now know the German government does not believe are serious. In other words, there are 4 types of crimes that we know the German government will allow people to just come to Germany and start over. I'm going to repeat from the last video. Consensual sex between adults and older, teenagers, receipt or possession of child pornography, incest, and soliciting a minor online. Those 4 crimes we know for fact will not keep someone from being able to come over here and just get a life. And that's the one thing I really want to emphasize in this video. When I came to Europe and filed a human rights complaint, I was scared to death that the Americans were on my tail, that they were literally gonna jump out of it behind a street sign while I'm walking down the road, and they were going to arrest me, drag me back to the United States. And so I really wanted to push this idea that the United States is committing human rights. The country of the United States is committing human rights violations. And so I took it into the court system and I fought, and history is what it is. That was really important because there needed to be a precedent set. We set it. We know that we set the precedent because now that decision is being followed by other courts in other cases here in Germany. But if I could give advice to you, unless you are in extreme circumstances, if you are under extreme duress, you don't need to go through the asylum process. This guy really messed himself up after we begged him not to do this. By the way, he has been ordered deported from Germany back to the United States within the next 7 days. In fact, by the time this video is published, his deadline will be up and he will probably be back in the United States and in handcuffs in a county jail. Sorry for his bad decision making. But I'm saying that unless you are under extreme duress, if you want to come to Europe and start over, then do so. Get on a plane, come over here legally, get a job legally, get an apartment legally, and move on with your life. It's that simple. Now, we have not tested the waters yet on serious crimes, those crimes that are defined by German law as being so bad that you just cannot get entry into Germany. We are working on that. Justin is doing some pretty heavy research on that right now, and I expect we'll make a video in the next few days on that specific topic. But I'm going to say again that this court decision, even though it was negative for him, gives the rest of us a really good idea of what the German courts are thinking and what the German government is thinking. And this just simply reinforces our understanding, our belief, that there are certain types of sex offenses in the United States that are not going to prohibit you from coming over here and starting your life over. It's completely doable. It's completely within grasp. Now, I say it in almost every video I make, and I'm going to say it here because we're really on the point. If you're not happy with your situation, do something about it. Now, nobody's going to do it for you. You've got to do it. And I understand there are some scary steps to be taken. Now, you're welcome to reach out to us on Patreon and talk with Justin privately, talk with me privately, what have you. You can make an appointment to talk with us, or you can join us on our Sunday meetings and you can talk about your case there. We offer what help we can as far as advice is concerned, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to do these things yourself. But I beg you, please do it the right way. Until next time, my friends, please be safe and be smart. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.